Hello ladies and gentlemen, Taveron here and welcome to another episode of Friday Night Magic. I have been racking my brain this last week and struggling to come up with a new deck to show you guys, and I have unfortunately failed. I usually like to present a new deck every week, but only one that I've had some moderate success with and feel comfortable showing you as something that you could play and also have success with. I've tried my own brews, I've tried brews from the forums, such as No Goblins Allowed and other places that I've just found randomly online, and nothing that is not something I've already showcased for you guys has come close to having a record and performance that I'm satisfied with. So, being as that is the case, I'm going to revisit one of my old decks that I have been having a lot of fun with and a lot of success with, especially in this Monvuli Acid Moss metagame that we have now. I've made very slight changes to the deck, just in the mana base. I had the mana misbalanced before, and I think it is a bit better now. I will put the deck list, as always, in the description below so that you can have something that's easier to access and build from. And I'm just going to go through this really quickly. We're playing 4 Thornbow Archer, 4 Sludge Crawler, 4 Perilous Myr, 3 Forerunner of Slaughter, 4 Twin Bolts, 2 Wasteland Strangler, 4 Dominator Drone, 3 Vile Aggregate, 4 Read the Bones, 1 Akoum Firebird, 2 Pia and Kiran Nalaar, and 2 Dust Stalker. The changes I made to the mana base are I changed the number of swamps and mountains we're running. Before, if I remember correctly, I was running 10 mountains and 9 swamps, and I don't know what made me skew it that way, because we obviously have more black requiring spells in the deck than red, though we do have a few double red costs that need to be paid. So I've changed it to 9 swamps, 8 mountains. We're still running 2 Smoldering Marsh, 2 Dragonskull Summit, and 2 Evolving Wilds. So let's get in there and see if we can do some wrecking with Rakdos. Okay, this is not the best hand I could hope for, but it's not one that I can throw back with a good conscience. 1 more land and we are in pretty good shape. 2 more land and we're in really good shape. Well, there's one of the lands. We'll lead off with our Dragonskull Summit. We've got turn 2 Forerunner, turn 3 Vile Aggregate, and then turn 4 Dominator Drone for sure, or maybe Akoum Firebird or Dust Stalker, just depending. And I dropped the Vile Aggregate before the Dominator Drone because I want him to start getting in there with his trample. He's going to get bigger with every colorless creature we play. Assuming, of course, that they do stay in play. Go ahead and get Forerunner of Slaughter down. Looks like our opponent is playing Temur colors here. Four color, maybe 5 color. Alright, we're looking at a 3/3 Skyrider Elf. Okay. I am going to attack before playing my card here. See if we can coax our opponent into trading off that elf for a Forerunner of Slaughter. Doesn't seem that we can. And so we will just play our Vile Aggregate. He will come down as a 2/5. Then next turn, since we have drawn a 4th mana here, we can play Dust Stalker most likely. Looks like our opponent wants to try and race us for now. And it appears they are playing 5 colors. So there is going to be a 4/4 Skyrider Elf. Which means that we want to play Dust Stalker and attack with only it. We will swing. See if our opponent wants to continue to try and race us. Okay, they will sacrifice a Gate Creeper Vine. So it appears they do indeed want to try to win this damage race instead of trying to clear the board. That could, however, mean that they have spell-based removal in hand. Though anything that would wipe our board at this point would also wipe theirs. They will take us to 10. So, does our opponent have a counterspell? That is a very relevant question. And if they do, would I rather get an Akoum Firebird or a Dominator Drone counterspelled? Probably the Firebird. Even though it will not pump my Vile Aggregate, I'm going to try it. Unless it's a Spell Shrivel, and then I definitely do not want it to be the one to get counterspelled. Still, there's a Spell Shrivel. Okay, that's bad. Still, there's not anything I can do to slow his team down. So I just have to try and be faster. We will be doing less than 11 because they have a Disperse. Bouncing that, so we'll be doing 5. So this is a Teamer tempo deck. Mostly Teamer. I guess that the other colors are splashes maybe? Or could be there for just the Converge. On these guys, probably Woodland Wanderer. Brilliant Spectrum, I think it's called. The draw spell. It will take us to 3. We will have to be quite lucky to get out of this. I do believe we have been tempoed out. And it does indeed appear to be the case. There's not much that we can do to deal with this. Guess we'll just play it out as best we can. And our opponent will get this win. Yep, they will block just in case we have a Twin Bolt. Because that would have been 11 damage, taking our opponent to 1. We do not have what it takes to get there, though. So rack this one up as a win for the other team. Hopefully we can do a bit better. I've been having some good luck with this deck. Would be very disappointing to just go on a big losing streak here on video. Okay, this is a rather slow hand. I think we can do better. Yeah, that's better. I'll keep that. Get our elf beatdown going here. Hopefully our opponent's not playing elves. This guy can swing for 2 a turn, seeing as our opponent will lose life if they don't control an elf when it attacks. Right, let's go ahead and make that happen. We will then play a second elf and play our Evolving Wilds, I believe. Oh, no. I played the mountain instead. Well, that's my bad. If I was going to play that, I should have went ahead and played the Perilous Myr, but that was a misclick on my part. I don't know that it's going to be super relevant, but it may. Go ahead and swing for 4 here. These guys can be an absolute beating. Okay, let's see if our Perilous Myr can resolve in the face of open blue mana. Alright, no horribly awry from our opponent. So we will now play our Evolving Wilds and go ahead and sack it. Just so we don't have to deal with pauses that don't go through. Get a second black source. Might ought to have gotten a second red for our Firebird. Hopefully we can draw into that though. That might be a mistake. Again, that comes back to haunt me. Been a little bit of a frustrating evening thus far. We did luck out and get a second red source though, as I've had about 5 people concede during the first turn or so, and then one match that locked up on looking at damage effects. So my nerves have been tested thus far. You guys won't have to worry about that because I cut those from the video, just in the effort to get something that is entertaining. That's not the first time in recent memory that I have had the game lock up during the opponent observing damage effects. Looks like we're going to get bone splintered. That's fine. We've got Twin Bolt to clear the way for our creatures here, which we will certainly do. I believe our opponents may be on some sort of aristocrat build. That seems very likely, seeing as how they have played several things that make Eldrazi spawns. Alright, go ahead and empty our hand. Oh, wait for that effect to go by. And unless our opponent does something, we will have them this next turn. And that's not enough on its own. Perhaps something else in hand. And apparently not. Alright. We'll hold on to Pia and Kiran just in case. And attack. We will drain our opponent for 2. They can block 1 damage. Do they have some sort of bounce? Oh, they're okay. Well, I mean, that works too. It's just if they were at a little bit higher, then that would have been a very bad block. The Perilous Myr would have done damage, but I digress. Let's go on to the next match. Okay, we're on the play. And though a little bit slow, I'm perfectly happy keeping this. We're only one short of playing the highest cost card in our hand. Highest cost card in our deck. Also, since we don't go above 4 on our curve. See if our opponent is playing some sort of red to match their avatar there. Yup. Red-blue. Thopters, perhaps. Or maybe just something else. Splashing. We're going to play mana efficient here and play out our Perilous Myr. Still got a couple of turns to draw a 4th land. Though even if we don't, we have Read the Bones to try and get there. No turn 2 play from the opponent is good for us. Let's go ahead and swing. Looks like one's going to get in. And we will try for Vile Aggregate. Hopefully we do not get horribly awry here, and we didn't. So next turn we can for sure play the Dominator Drone. If we top deck another land, we can play Drone plus Sludge Crawler and make the Vile Aggregate a 4/5. Plus doing 2 damage with the Dominator Drone itself. And it is indeed appearing to be Thopters there. Didn't quite see what land our opponent played. Must have been an island. Okay. Well, we did not get there on land, so the question is, do we play the Dominator Drone for the 2 damage, or do we play both Sludge Crawlers to make the aggregate bigger? And I think that's the play, is to play both Sludge Crawlers. That way the trample is relevant to get that ingest in. And our opponent cannot block either of our creatures unless they're willing to lose that Chief of the Foundry, and they're actually conceding. I think I'm going to go ahead and play this one out, because I can't just keep dropping out when my opponent does so early in the game, or I'm never going to get enough content to put up this video. There's Jace. So it looks like our opponent is stuck on 3 lands, and that might have been the reason they conceded there. Well, we're going to go ahead and play Dominator Drone pre-combat. Make our Vile Aggregate that much larger. And then we will swing with the Perilous Myr and the Aggregate. I do expect Jace to block the Perilous Myr, though. Still, it is the AI, and the AI can make mistakes. So it's worth a try. We've got our opponent to 7. Ooh, Jeskai colors. That's interesting. Wonder if this is the Jeskai tokens list that one person is playing in the Xbox tournament that's going on at the moment. Well, let's go ahead and swing with everything but the Sludge Crawlers. Well, let's see. 2 will trample over. That's 5, 6, 7. I think it's okay to attack with the Sludge Crawlers here. We can finish off the Chief if he blocks one, but I don't think he can and live. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. And then we will finish our opponent off. We could have pumped one of these guys, but Twin Bolt will do the job just as well. Well, now we know why our opponent conceded. Let's hope to get a little bit of a better match in the next one. Okay, this hand is very capable. Like, we are on the play again. And first turn Sludge Crawler is okay by me. It's the best chance we have to get an ingest. Not that Wasteland Strangler has been relevant yet thus far. Just having that option is comforting to me. Not much you can do on my turn with 1 blue in this meta, so no need to hold the land. All the 1 mana interactive spells are sorceries. And by all, I mean Clutch of Currents, unless I'm just misremembering. Which is possible. Possibly should have pumped that guy. There. I get distracted at times just doing commentary. Although bluffing a Twin Bolt is not the worst thing either. Alright, I will swing first here. If our opponent wants to trade that Perilous Myr for a Sludge Crawler, that's fine. I can play Vile Aggregate post-combat. It looks like they're doing that. We may be seeing another Thopter deck here. What did we ingest after all? Vile Aggregate. So blue-red devoid? That's a mirror. That's a pseudo-mirror, rather. We are quite devoid ourselves in this little pile of aggressive fury. But our opponent is stuck on 2 lands. Hopefully we're not going to see a super early concession here. Let's play Dominator Drone pre-combat to pump up our Vile Aggregate. And our Vile Aggregate is getting bounced. So we do not get the 2 damage off of this guy, though we do have a 3/2 in play. Perhaps we can top deck a land here and be able to play Dust Stalker instead. And once again, we see a concession. What can you do, though? I mean, I understand our opponent's stuck on 2 mana. Would really like to get in some good games, but as I said, I've already had several of these happen. And I could be recording for 4 hours trying to get a 30-minute video up. Alright, so this is Barrage Tyrant. Okay. Well, let's swing for 8. Then we will play Aggregate plus Sludge Crawler. Finish this game next turn. Yep. Wait for that to resolve. What did we ingest there? Flame Shadow Conjuring. Haven't seen that played in a long time. Since back at the very beginning of the release of Duels Origins. And that should be the ball game. Yep, for sure. Alright, come on. Let's do one more. We've got to be able to get one decent match here this evening. I mean, come on guys, really. I will say one thing, the Jace avatar seems to be very popular this evening. Draw a new hand, please. And I will take that one. Okay, our opponent mulliganed to 6 there. Hopefully that isn't foreshadowing yet another concession on turn 3 or before. Alright. So, looks like we're rolling multi-Perilous Myrs here, though next turn we'll most likely drop the Dominator Drone. Depending. Ooh, a Boros, maybe. Boros tokens? I've tried to make Boros tokens work myself. The problem that I faced with that deck is that either you get the nuts with the Thopter generating creatures, plus I've been trying both Retreat to Emeria and Valor and Akros, both singly and together in varying numbers, and been able to make it consistent. Generally, you either totally smash the opponent, like I said, with the Thopter generating creatures and one of those 2 enchantments out, or you just dirtle around and can't really get any kind of an offense going. Though the ones you win are super impressive. Going from 3 or 4 1/1s out there to having 4 and 5 pluses on them. Alright, let's go ahead and swing pre-combat, or let's go ahead and swing before we play something. Okay, that did not draw any response from our opponent. I think I'm going to go ahead and play the Perilous Myr here, leaving mana up for Twin Bolt on their turn. And unfortunately, despite our opponent mulliganing to 6, we are the one who is behind on cards in hand at the moment, though we do have Perilous Myrs on the board. Another Dragon Fodder. Quite glad I went ahead and saved Twin Bolt. Pause, please. Thank you. Protect our Perilous Myrs here. Another Dominator Drone. This one I will play pre-combat. Alright. Just to try to make it that much more likely that we get the 2 damage in from having other colorless creatures in play. Okay. And Slow and steady, we are getting there. This is far from the most explosive this deck can be. What is our opponent holding? That 4 mana is... Well, there's Gideon. I don't know what's prompting concessions so early at times here. Like, Gideon definitely buys time. I mean, we have Twin Bolt in hand, and our opponent doesn't know that. But still. Guess we'll kill Gideon and do one to them. Alright, come on, guys. What I hate even more than that is when someone concedes super early, and then the AI goes on to win the game in their place because they conceded very prematurely. What is this? Oh, okay, unified front, so 2 1/1 soldiers. Yup. As such, we can't swing with both Myrs here. Swing with one. That way if they block it, I can kill both of those without losing both of my Perilous Myrs. But they are content to trade with the Dominator Drone. And then we will drop Vile Aggregate. Next turn we may be playing Read the Bones. Though Dominator Drone does look quite enticing itself. So there's blue in this deck, is there? Is it Jeskai tokens? There's that. Let's go ahead and play Dominator Drone, pump up our Vile Aggregate. And swing for potentially 6. And that seems to be going through. We should have this game in the bag. We ingested Pia and Kiran. Bye-bye, Mom and Dad. Okay. I don't know that that prevents a win. I don't think it does. No, especially not with Dominator Drone. Let's go ahead and do 2 then. And swing. No super profitable blocks here. Vile Aggregate's trample is super relevant. Way more often than you'd think it would be. So, I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Friday Night Magic. If you have, please leave a like below. It really does help. Consider subscribing to the channel so you can be updated when I upload new content. And until next time, friends, be excellent to each other.